Aelia bent over the long papyrus roll, her reed pen whispering across the fibers with a speed that surprised even her. The late afternoon sun spilled through the tall windows of the Library of Alexandria, laying golden stripes across shelves that reached like stairways into the heavens. Dust glimmered in the light, tiny particles dancing as if the knowledge of centuries were alive around her. The text before her was precious, a damaged copy of Times, Elements, Times attributed to Euclid himself. The ink had faded, the corners had been frayed by time and careless hands. Aelia's task was to save it. She copied each diagram with precision, each sentence with reverence. At just 17, she was the youngest scribe the great library had ever appointed. The elders often joked that she was born with a pen in her hand, but today she felt none of the pride that usually warmed her chest. The air outside trembled with unrest chants, echoing from the streets, accompanied by the faint clang of metal on stone. The city had grown uneasy these past months. Rumors swept through Alexandria like desert winds. Extremist groups stirred by religious fervor, mobs eager to purge the city of its pagan learning, politicians whispering that the library's time had come to an end. Aelia dipped her pen again, refusing to let her hand shake. She lived her life within these walls, cared for by scholars, teachers, astronomers, physicians, and translators. The library was her world, and her world was in danger. Just as she finished a line on geometry, the great cedar doors burst open. "Aelia," a voice gasped. It was Thaddeus, her friend and fellow apprentice. His chest rose and fell in panicked waves. She set her pen down. "What is it?" "They're coming. A mob from the Serapeum district. They've already broken into 2 minor libraries." Aelia felt the blood drain from her face. How close? Minutes. The guards are preparing, but there are too many of them. She stood abruptly, the stool scraping against the marble floor. "We have to save the manuscripts." Thaddeus hesitated. "Aelia, the scholars say to leave. They say the library is only a building, and buildings can be rebuilt." "No," she said sharply. "But ideas once burned are gone forever." Her passion startled him, but he nodded. "Then I'll help you." They rushed to the inner chambers, where the most fragile scrolls were stored, texts from ancient Egypt, mathematical treatises from Greece, astronomical charts from Babylon, medicinal knowledge from India. Aelia grabbed as many as she could fit into a linen satchel. Behind her, a deep rumble shook the floor. Shouts carried through the corridors. Thaddeus swallowed hard. "They're inside the courtyard." Aelia looked at him. "We can still escape through the harbor route, if we hurry." But Thaddeus didn't move. His eyes darted to the entrance as though he expected someone else. "Thaddeus?" Aelia asked slowly. "What aren't you telling me?" Thaddeus closed his eyes. "I tried to stop them," he whispered, "but I couldn't. My brother, he's with them." Aelia felt as though the ground had tilted. "Your brother? In the mob?" "He believes the library corrupts the people. He says scholars mock the gods. He says—" He stopped as Aelia backed away, disbelief bright in her eyes. "Thaddeus," she said, voice trembling, "did you bring them here?" He shook his head violently. "No, I swear I didn't. But they followed me. They've seen me enter the library every day. They thought I was hiding something." Footsteps pounded the marble corridors. Thaddeus grabbed her wrist. "We have to go now." Despite the sting of betrayal, Aelia knew she had no choice. She clutched her satchel and ran. They raced through the hall of maps, past towering scroll holders filled with the knowledge of the world. Aelia's sandals slapped against the marble as the mob's shouts grew louder behind them, angry, triumphant, hungry for destruction. They turned into the hall of astrologers. Smoke already drifted from the back, stinging her eyes. "No," Aelia whispered. A smaller wing of manuscripts was burning. Flames flickered along the wooden shelves like serpents with glowing tongues. Thaddeus grabbed her shoulder. "Aelia, we can't stop it." She steadied herself. "We go to the harbor." They fled down a side passage seldom used by visitors, winding through dusty storage rooms and stairwells that smelled of aging papyrus. Behind them, the library groaned with the sounds of chaos, cracking wood, panicked voices, the crash of glass and pottery. At last, they reached a concealed exit that opened onto a narrow alley leading toward the harbor. The sea breeze kissed her face, a rare touch of hope. But hope was short-lived. A group of men blocked the path, and at their head stood Thaddeus's brother. "Thaddeus," the man said. His voice was cold. "You bring disgrace to our family." Thaddeus stiffened. "You don't understand, Marcus. These scrolls, this knowledge is poison." Marcus spat. "It fills your head with lies. Look around. The old gods are dying. A new world rises. There is no room for the teachings of dead philosophers." Aelia stepped forward, trembling but fearless. "Knowledge is not a threat, Marcus. Ignorance is." Marcus's eyes burned with contempt. "Give me the satchel." Aelia clutched it tighter. "Never." Marcus raised his sword. Thaddeus stepped between them. "If you want it, you'll have to go through me." A heavy silence fell. Marcus's men murmured uneasily. Even they sensed the tragedy in the air. Two brothers standing on opposite sides of history. Marcus's jaw tightened. "Move aside." Thaddeus didn't. Marcus hesitated, then lowered his sword slightly. "Fine," he said. "Go. But if we meet again, I will not show mercy." Aelia didn't wait. She grabbed Thaddeus's arm and ran down the alley. Marcus did not pursue. The mob had other prey. They burst onto the harbor, where fishing boats bobbed in the orange glow of sunset. Aelia spotted a small vessel untied and floating near the pier. She and Thaddeus climbed aboard, hearts pounding. Before they could push off, someone called her name. "Aelia." She turned to see Master Dion her mentor and the library's chief scholar. His white beard fluttered in the wind. "Master," Aelia cried, "come with us." But Dion shook his head. "My time is nearly gone, child. But yours is only beginning." He pressed a small wooden box into her hands. "Inside are the star charts of Eratosthenes, the only surviving copies. Keep them safe. One day, the world will need them again." Aelia's eyes filled with tears. "Master, please." Dion smiled sadly. "The library gave me a life of purpose. Let me give it a final duty." Behind him, smoke poured over the rooftops. The library, the greatest wonder of the world, was burning. "Go," Dion said softly. "Live, learn, teach." Aelia bowed her head, unable to speak. Thaddeus pushed the boat away from the pier. The water carried them into the open sea as flames curled into the sky like red serpents. From the boat, Aelia watched the library burn. The night glowed orange. Sparks rained like stars crashing to earth. Scrolls that had survived centuries, wars, floods, dynasties now vanished in minutes. She clutched the satchel to her chest. "Thaddeus," she whispered. "What if we're the last? What if the knowledge dies with us?" He paddled in silence for a time, the oars cutting the dark water. "Then we cannot let it die." "But how? We're alone." "No," Thaddeus said firmly. "You have a gift, Aelia. You can copy what no one else remembers. We can rebuild. Not the whole library, but enough to keep its spirit alive." Aelia looked at the smoking horizon, her heart aching. "Master Dion," he stayed behind. Thaddeus bowed his head. He believed the knowledge was worth sacrificing for. Aelia wiped her tears. "Then we must be worthy of that sacrifice." Hours passed. The boat drifted farther from the coast. Aelia opened the wooden box Dion had given her. Inside, carefully wrapped in linen, were stunning star maps, precise diagrams of constellations, notes on planetary movements, and calculations predicting eclipses. She traced the lines gently with her fingertip. These were made centuries ago, and yet they still speak to us. Thaddeus smiled weakly. "Because knowledge never truly dies, not as long as someone remembers." Aelia thought of the thousands of scrolls lost, but she also thought of the ones they had saved. The world would not end in ignorance, not if she could help it. As dawn broke on the horizon, Aelia dipped her pen into a small vial of ink she kept in her satchel. On a blank scrap of papyrus, she began to copy Dion's star charts, her first step toward rebuilding what had been destroyed. Thaddeus watched her with a soft smile. "The Last Scribe of Alexandria," he said. Aelia shook her head gently. "No, the first of what comes next." And with the rising sun glowing upon the waves, Aelia continued to write, preserving the light of the ancient world so it could guide the future.